Welcome to Judge Blab number 9, our first GP guide. Tonight we have Sonia Lopatel joining us again. And this is the bit where I would read out a recognition she's got recently, but there's a topic that we're going to get to that's sort of related to it. So I'm going to read it out then. But I believe Sonia wants to say something.
Yes, because you're all the time talking about recognition about others, but I think we should talk about the recognition you received. And actually, you received some recognition for this Judge Blab. So, this, just to give a little bit of context, this Judge Blab has been created by you, yes?
Yep.
Yeah, 8 months ago?
Yep.
What was your philosophy behind it?
I thought that I really enjoy listening to MtG Cast, the podcast, but I thought there could be something more interactive that would be more helpful for people learning, and it would also be good to engage the community on this side of the globe. So something for us by us sounded like a good idea.
So it's also like to bring the community together a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Australia and New Zealand has this problem of like geography. So it's actually a good way to bring judges all together.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. So That's why you receive a lot of recognition for that. And thank you for your work, and I hope you will keep going.
I will keep doing it as long as people enjoy it, and I've got the time.
That's a good point. So usually you do that around every 3 weeks?
Every 3 weeks when I've got something to talk about.
Yep.
So
I think it's a good idea to say to the judges who are listening to us that if you have any idea of topic, it's a good idea to bring it to you.
Yeah. I'm always open to suggestions of ideas, and also open and welcome and hoping that people are happy to co-host with me. So thank you for doing that.
That's a pleasure, as always. All right.
Cool. So our first group of topics for tonight is looking after yourself. And we've got 3 sections here. We've got 4 sections. We've got fuel, support, relax, and resting.
Okay.
I swear those last 2 are different. So, fuel.
First of all, what you mean about this session is in Grand Prix, why do you have to look after yourself?
Well, GPs are 3, sometimes 4 days now. Shifts are easily 12 hours long at times.
Okay.
I mean, look at the chaos that erupted in Charlotte and how long those guys had to work that day.
Sure.
So, yeah. They're big, long things. And if we're not looking after ourselves, how we do things for the players is going to suffer. And
yes,
no one's going to have a good weekend.
Is look after yourself if you want to look after others. Yeah.
And to be honest, no judge is getting paid well enough to not enjoy their weekend.
So you mean, so maybe this should have fun or enjoying their weekend, because we know that the compensation doesn't compensate at all the work that we are doing in GP. Yes, of course. No. That's why we should take care of us all the time. We should try having fun.
Cool.
All right, so how do we do that?
The first step, I think, is fueling yourself properly.
Okay.
So drinking lots of water is the first part of that.
That's the fuel?
Yeah.
Not expensive fuel.
I think it's Bear Grylls says, or lots of survival people say, you can last 3 hours without water in the worst conditions. But you can last days without food.
Yes.
So the most important thing to do is to drink. And drink water.
Sugar is also fine for energy, but it's not very healthy.
No. The best is water. I mean, what are you pouring for yourself there?
Yes.
I've got my water bottle.
Yeah.
Personally, when I'm not at a GP, I drink two and a half of these a day.
Wow.
This is beside my head. It's the size of my head. I mean, I could lie and go, it's huge. Look. No, size of my head.
So 2 head of water. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's about 1.5 liters. So I drink over 3 liters a day on a normal day.
I think drinking water is very important in GP, because if you don't drink water, you're going to feel tired, and you can also like have a very big headache because you don't drink water. It's a good sign usually. If you feel tired or if you feel like starting having a headache, you should go to fetch a bottle of water.
Yeah. The lesson on the headache one is, if you've got a headache, you're starting to get that headache, you've been doing it wrong for the last 4 hours. It's not too late. You need to, you drinking right then is great, but take it as a sign you have not been drinking enough.
Yeah. All right. So that was the first fuel. What else?
The second bit, and this is the running joke of most team introductions, eat breakfast.
That seems very stupid, right? Like very often during our life, we don't really eat breakfast because we are in a rush. What do you think about that? Why is it so important in GP?
I know the conventional wisdom is everyone has to eat breakfast, and breakfast is the most important meal of the day and all that. I'm not going to actually say what I was about to say. I am just going to give the correct advice. Eat breakfast. You need fuel.
But
you
I
need
mean,
energy.
I will say why, because like it's from Kevin Dupree, I think. Yeah, we were talking about that, and basically, as he said, well, in GP you never know when you're going to eat. Yep. Maybe you were supposed to have your lunch break like in half an hour, at around like 1 o'clock. Easy, like a nice time, and suddenly something happened.
Yeah.
And you fix a problem, you help, you do things, and you forgot to eat. And you realize at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you haven't eaten. So how can you have enough fuel if you don't eat the morning in this type of situation?
We've got a lot better about making it so people have their break, whatever's going on. It used to be like, I know I was telling you a story earlier about Pro Tour Kuala Lumpur, but another one is Sunday of the Pro Tour. I started work at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 7 p.m., I commented to my supervising person, I haven't had a lunch break yet.
Right. Do you think that's actually a good point? If you didn't have lunch and you feel you should have eaten something, you should tell your team leader.
Yeah. Now,
because if you need fuel, like if you need water, or if you need food, or if you need anything, you should tell your team leader.
Yeah.
Because they are supposed to be responsible of you having the fuel.
Yeah. It was partially on me for not commenting on it earlier. And to be honest, until then, I hadn't noticed that hadn't had a break because I wasn't feeling hungry or down or anything. I was
or you were focused on doing something, right?
Yeah.
Like judges love their job, what they're doing during GP, especially during the GP. So they are walking, and they don't realize that they don't take breaks.
Yeah. The bit that I will blame the supervising people for was when I said that to him, his response was, so?
Okay, I hope this will never happen again to you or anyone else.
Yeah. All
right, so breakfast.
Just continuing that story though, when I then got off my shift and finished at 9 p.m., I corralled some people to head over to the food court that was nearby. And on our way to the restaurant, I grabbed a value meal from the McDonald's and ate it on the way to dinner. And then I ordered the biggest thing I could order at dinner and demolished it.
I'm not surprised.
But that's me. I eat.
That's very normal. Like when you're walking, you are using a lot of energy, so you're supposed to bring energy to your body. That's why we are talking about fuel at the moment.
And the point I got in the run sheet here that I want to bring up on breakfast, greasy food is good.
Yes. The best breakfast you can have is actually like bacon and eggs and like toast. And,
proteins and fats.
I usually never do that, but at GPs, that's what I do.
Yeah. The proteins and fats are dense energy and they last a long time.
Yeah, true.
So it's good.
I usually try to avoid coffee because coffee has a high peak of energy during like 2 or 3 hours, and after you will feel very tired when the peak go down.
And the caffeine speeds up your metabolism, causing you to use energy faster. So it is bad for you in that sense.
Except if you want to drink coffee the entire day, but that's also not very recommended if you want to be able to sleep.
Even then, it means you need to consume more calories through the day to feel energized.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Personally, in day-to-day life, I'm trying to drink more tea so that my metabolism is faster to try and lose weight. Not working so well. Okay, so eat breakfast. We've got that down. The next bit we've got here is bring snacks.
That's a great idea.
Do not rely on your ability to leave the venue and get something to eat.
Do not rely on other judges, and do not rely on like being able to buy something. Yeah.
When I'm helping clean up the judge area at the end of the weekend, I'm very happy to be pushing a huge pile of snacks into the bin. That's okay. It means everyone has brought too many snacks, and too many is good. I've collected a couple of different opinions from different judges on what they've stated publicly is a great snack to bring.
Okay.
Firstly, I've got Fabian Peck from Melbourne. His opinion is bananas.
Okay. I don't know that.
And Nathan always, our RC, Nathan Brewer, always replies immediately that the awesomest snack is anything but bananas.
It's probably a joke between them.
I just think it's that Nathan agrees with Marrow on bananas being evil.
Okay.
Personally, I really advocate for muesli bar style snacks because they tend to be high on the fats, which is the good thing to be eating for long energy. Yep. They also tend to be drizzled in sugary stuff, which is a good combination.
Sure.
The sugar hits you quicker, the fat keeps you going. And what's your favorite snack, Sonia?
Snack in general, chocolate, of course. If you give me chocolate, I will be always happy. But for GP, I think dry fruits are very, very nice because it's not too sweet, actually. And, you know, when you're judging a lot of MtG events, you tend to take a little bit of weight. And also, like, I really like to bring, when I'm going to a foreign GP, to bring something, a specialty from my country to share. Like, I will take some team time if I'm going to a Japanese GP, for example, like any other place. Or like if I am in my local GP, I like to bring cakes that I'm making.
Oh, yep.
I really like to share something with other judges.
Yeah. And it's nice to have some home-cooked food at a GP.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. I don't think we've got any viewers just at the moment to give us any other ideas, so we'll keep moving. So, support is our next topic.
Okay. So, what to wear, sorry.
We won't make fun of you.
I think it's a good point to start by saying when you're judging, you should wear black.
Yeah.
Everything, especially the socks. That's something that judges tends to forget.
I just think
to
you should be,
to look professional.
I think your pants should just be long enough you can't see the socks.
Yeah, but even if you move, if it's white, it's going to be visible.
Yeah.
That's a good habit,
Yeah.
I think. And like
personally,
in general, like you just want to look professional.
Yeah. People give me grief for when I'm wearing shorts and things that I only own black socks. Apparently, when you're wearing shorts, you should wear other colored socks.
I don't know. I haven't read you with that. And I think it's a good idea to think about like you represent Wizard, you represent the TO in an event, so you want to look professional.
Yeah.
Because you provide a service for the players. So it's a good idea like to try to do your hair or like maybe to, I don't know, not for the judges, but maybe like shave. That's
I definitely shave more during GP weekends than I do in regular day-to-day life.
Yes. And also something very important is to put some deodorant and maybe some little bit of perfume.
Yeah.
I always have in my little bag that I'm judging a little bit of perfume, like a little bottle, just to look professional and to smell professional. Because when you're coming for rolling, you come close to the player, so you don't want them to be aggressed by you.
Yeah. That also would equally mean don't overdo the aromas. When you get in close to do a judge ruling, you don't want to overpower them with your amazing perfume. It doesn't matter how nice it smells. If it's overpowering, it's bad. And equally so, don't overpower them with your BO, please.
Okay. What else? Do you have another advice on this subject?
The next biggest bit is think of your shoes.
Okay.
I know.
What do you mean by that?
I know everyone's trying to wear their Fitbits and hit their 10,000 steps for the day. If you don't smash your 10,000 steps during a GP, you've managed to get a desk job somehow. I think you're not judging. You're probably scorekeeping.
Oh, you're efficient.
Yeah, I think you're still going to hit your 10,000 nearly any role at a GP.
Yes.
So yeah, buy the best quality shoes your budget can afford. And the way I got the shoes that I love for GPs is I went to the shoe store that is sort of known for testing feet and giving shoes that are designed for the people correctly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Asked them for the shoes that they recommend for the black shoes they recommend for walking all day.
Right. Which shop does that?
Athlete's Foot is the one in Australia that tries to get you to walk over some expensive sense of thing to determine if your feet are, I don't know, I'm not a foot doctor person. But yeah, they recommended me Ascent brand shoes that are designed and targeted at people who work in restaurants and hospitality.
Oh, okay.
So people walking on hard surfaces for 8+ hours in a shift with no stop.
Yeah.
Sounds like judging.
That's great. Yes, exactly.
So I bought them and they're amazing. They repaired my feet while working Worlds in Japan after I'd damaged them wearing runners touristing the day before.
Wow, okay. That's nice.
So I arrived in Japan, next day saw Tokyo, walking around in lovely nice new pair of Nikes I'd bought. The next day I got up and was just catching the train from the heart of Tokyo to Chiba, just an outskirting suburb. And I could barely put any weight on my foot. It was just the arch of my foot felt like a muscle had torn. And
and the shoes
and the shoes let me work my 10-hour shifts 4 days in a row And by the end of it, my foot was fine. What I then did was I took those Nikes and I left them in the lobby of the hotel and just left them there. I was not touching those shoes again. Looks like Sonia has some connection issues and is down to audio only at the moment. We'll give that a few minutes and then we'll get you to reconnect.
Okay. Well.
Or maybe look at if there's anything. Yeah. Cool. Let's try and sort this.
Am I still there?
Sonia's back. Sweet. Okay, so I think we've finished shoes. Do you have any?
Oh.
You're still a bit.
Yep.
Do you have any suggestions on shoes?
Not really. I'm buying the same pair of shoes since years now in France, and I will be in trouble for the next 6 months soon.
Yeah. Cool.
But I have an advice for taking care of your food is changing socks during the day. Like if you are doing your lunch break, it's a good idea to change socks. And if you can, but that's really is to change shoes. If you change shoes in the middle of the day and socks, that's like the biggest thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, it really does help.
But changing socks is already like a very big help because it basically will refresh your foot.
I'd only recommend changing shoes if you think you've got two different sets of shoes that are up for the job.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even. I've taken socks with me to change into a few times and haven't got around to it ever. So I hear other people saying it a lot, and I keep meaning to try it.
What I really like to do also, if I can afford it, also is changing my just shot.
Yep.
In the middle of the day, because you basically refresh yourself if you do that.
Yeah.
Like at lunch break, usually I put flip-flop during the lunch break.
Yep.
And I remove my just shot. I'm taking my break without like any outfit from the judging. And then when I'm coming back, I'm changing shot, I'm changing shoes, and I'm changing my just shot.
Yep.
If I can.
Do you judge in heels?
No, that's really not recommended because except if you are used to wear heels every day, for walking all the day where you're judging is not a good idea.
Yeah, I just brought it up because it's nice to have someone who is of the appropriate gender to ask that question to on. And yeah, I do see some doing it, and I see other judges as they walk past going, are they crazy? And then I've spoken to them, and they're people who wear heels all the time.
Yeah, because the foot is basically deformed for this type of shoes.
Yeah. I hate that we do that to women's feet, but that's the world we live in.
Yes, that's true. All right, so what else? You wanted to talk about pants in this session.
Yes. Pants are important. You will be wearing them all day.
Yep.
I know that the female judges have issues with this, but pockets are really useful in pants. And
yes. I don't disagree with you, actually. I have pants which have pockets, very nice pockets for judging.
The problem I hear from some of the women judges is that it's hard to find pants that they want to wear to a GP that have pockets.
Well, I have taken. Now I have a little bag that I'm wearing for judging to avoid like wearing any pockets, basically.
Yeah.
And everything is in my bag.
Yeah. I have heard a lot of judges swear by what I believe is called 5.11 tactical pants.
Okay. It's like the big pants, right? Like with big pockets.
Yeah, but they don't look as daggy as cargo pants.
Okay, it's
But
not
they
like you are
have,
at the army with like big pants, like full of equipment, right?
yeah, but you got about the same amount of space in them, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
That's nice.
they're what ambulance drivers
Do you know
wear.
how to find them?
I did a Google search for 5.11 tactical pants,
And
and
you
things
can find
came
them?
up.
Okay,
So
that's good.
just in case anyone's having trouble figuring out what I'm saying there, I'm just putting it in the chat, and they can scroll up if they look at the blab.
Yep.
That's not all I pasted.
Okay.
Oh, it's trying to treat that as a link to. That's not a link.
It's okay. I'm sure they can find it by themselves. Don't worry.
Yeah. But
Let's move on.
Yep.
Well, we don't have this option for us, but just to finish this, we can wear a skirt also as ladies. And I found some skirt with very nice pockets, so it's actually possible.
Yeah, I can imagine that works better because skirts aren't trying to be hugging your lovely figure. They're free flowing, so a pocket doesn't hurt the line of the such.
But you still want to wear a skirt which look professional, so it still have to be like look like not a secretary, but like black skirt, very like formal, like conventional.
Yeah, no mullet dresses when. No mullet skirts when judging.
I have an advice also for women: do not wear stocks. The thing you put on the legs.
Stockings.
Maybe I don't have stockings. Do not wear stockings. That's horrible. It will burn your legs, and they will it's not a good idea. Avoid that as much as you can.
Okay. I will trust you on that.
Yeah. All right. Undershirts.
Many judges swear by them every single time they're judging.
Yep.
When I consider them to be completely and utterly essential is when you're judging and you don't have enough judge shirts for every day.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about the average person, but if I'm walking around all day, I will definitely be sweating, at least at some point. So a undershirt, either changing my shirt daily or an undershirt is essential. So when there's a new judge shirt that I don't have yet, I'm definitely taking enough undershirts to wear one every day because sometimes shirts are a limited resource. But these days, I have 5 shirts that are appropriate to wear.
Easy. It's also very nice when you're taking a break. For example, you can just remove your judge shirt to take a break and you have something under.
I've definitely, when judging in very cold places, gone with a jacket to put on. So I can just change out of my uniform by putting a jacket on. But when it's a hot environment, having an undershirt so you can just rip off your shirt and you're not a judge, it's good.
Oh, it's also nice to give your judge shirt some fresh air when you're taking a break, just to you see.
Airing it out. It's good for smells.
Yes.
The other reason to bring a undershirt is the room could be really cold. Some venues have air conditioning that is really good, and it's great because the players don't smell. So we don't tell them to turn off the air conditioning, but you might need an undershirt to stay warm enough when judging.
Yeah, it's a good idea also to take a pullover.
Yep.
After you judging, because when you're judging, you are moving, so you are doing an effort, so you are your body is very warm, and if you take a break, you can get a cold by not wearing something.
Yeah.
Something very comfortable that you like your old sweater is perfect. You just put that on you when you're taking a break. Perfect.
We should mention your undershirt should be black.
Oh,
Please.
really? I have all mine are white and it's fine.
Okay. It might be that I don't like doing up enough buttons, so the undershirt's likely to show at times.
Oh, okay. It's a good advice.
Yeah. I've heard some people go that your undershirt should be 100% black with no logos or anything on it. The judge shirts are not transparent. You cannot see what you're wearing under it, except if you haven't done all the buttons up, which I prefer to not do. Cool.
Okay.
So that is support done.
Yep. Let's talk about breaks.
Yes, relaxing is important.
All right.
When you have a break, take it.
That's the best advice you can say, yeah, actually.
Yeah. As someone who has been in charge of players and judges and trying to give them breaks, please notice the difference between when your team leader asks, do you need a break? And please take a break.
And usually when he's saying, do you need a break? It's mean you should probably take a break.
It can be that he's doing it very early on, or he or she, they're doing it very early on, trying to work out which of my 10 people should I give a break to right now.
Yeah.
But when they've asked the first 8 of those 10 people, and they've all said, no, I don't need a break yet, the last 2, they're going to come up to you and go, please take a 20-minute break now. Because someone has to take a break now, because if I don't give you a break now, then someone's not going to get a break until round 9.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. So someone has to take a break now. I've asked everyone else. No one wants a break now. You're taking it. So when you have a break, take it.
Okay.
And that doesn't just mean you're not judging for 20 minutes. It means you're resting.
So you bring back your body a little bit. You remove the time. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. You know, taking a break and running for 20 minutes, unless you're a marathon runner, that doesn't count as a break.
I'm sure even if you are a marathon runner, that doesn't count as a break.
Maybe. So get off your feet as soon as possible.
What do you mean by that?
Sit.
Oh, right.
Somewhere.
Okay.
If you got a 20-minute break, don't spend 9 minutes walking somewhere to sit for 2 minutes.
Mm.
And when I say get off your feet, there's a thing I've learnt as someone who isn't of a light frame, that when you're walking for 12 hours a day, late in the day, when you sit down, your feet are sore. If you actually put your feet up and take weight off them completely, my best explanation is the blood rushes into your feet, into the soles of your feet, and they swell a bit.
Yeah.
And it feels great when you're doing that. And then you go to stand back up. And when you think your feet hurt before, they are now agonizing. The simple solution to this is just rest them flat on the floor. You don't need to put them up. Even just where you sit with your heels on the ground, not your feet, that's not optimal. Just sit with your feet flat on the floor.
Okay.
Your feet will feel like they're getting a good relax, but they won't swell so much, so it won't be so agonizing when you stand up after it. It's not very important for your first break of the day, but for that last break before you got another 2 hours before you finish, that has been the difference between me hating those 2 hours and not.
That's a good advice. Thanks a lot.
It may not be advice for everyone. I could imagine that if you weigh half of what I do, which is common, that it's not a big deal. But for those of us who are bigger, it's been good advice.
Okay. So yeah, you were saying, so I think also it's important to speak about like when you're taking a break to go out of a room, to stop thinking about magic, judging, to just taking a break mentally, because you have we are talking about taking a break for your body, but I think it's also important to relax for yourself, maybe to think about something else, taking some fresh air, to re-energize your cells in your breast, and just to be like in a quiet environment, to relax your brain, to relax your mind, because like that you can just like completely re-energize. How do you say that?
Yep.
Re-energize. Yeah. And it's a good idea if you do that to remove your judge shot, because if you don't remove your judge shot, and if you're crossing the room in your judge shot, trying to get out, you're probably going to take some calls. And that's not the point of like taking a break.
It used to be really bad when you were sitting at the cafe near the venue. You'd still get people asking you judge questions. I haven't found that to be a problem of late, because I will admit I haven't been taking off my judge shirt when going to breaks much recently.
Wow.
But the crossing the room with your judge shirt on, don't do that. But if you're at the edge of the venue when you're given your break, and there's the two of you there and you're given your break, and the judge area where you're going to take your shirt off is a fair way away, and you can leave the venue without crossing the event floor, I actually recommend just leaving.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I think it's important also to, like, even if you do that, you can just open your shirt, or like, just to take some fresh air to your body.
Yeah. But yeah, saving that few minutes crossing the room and coming back is good.
It's important. Yeah.
And actually crossing the room in your judge shirt to take off your judge shirt can waste 15 minutes because you could take some calls.
True. So if you close to a door, go out.
But yeah, if you've got an undershirt on, just unbutton your shirt so it looks like you're casual.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't see the judge logo like that. Yeah. And when you were talking about your team leader, I think it's important to say that if you need a break, you should ask for one.
Yep.
And how do you know? How do you know that? How do you know you need a break? Because you're only judging, you are walking, and you are like so, but you don't really see it, right? Feel it.
It's hard.
But you're tired.
It's good. Every second you get to think to yourself, think, do I need a glass of water? Go, have the glass of water.
Yep.
And if you at the end of the glass of water go, I really need more of this, that might mean you need a break. Just try and schedule regularly thinking about yourself.
I think it's important to know yourself enough to know that, like, to know you're tired.
Yeah.
To know your limits. I think it's important to know your body by yourself. Like, some people can walk 12 hours without any breaks, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But some people need like every 2 hours, like a little break, or every 4 hours a big break. Depend on the people. It's really dependent, and your team leader can't know that.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea basically to help him to manage, to make him your day, to help you manage yourself, or something like that. Yeah.
The team leader has your best interests in heart, but until you ask for something, he's just going to treat you the same as everyone else.
Yeah. And actually, it's maybe not good for you.
Yeah. So when you think you need a break, ask for one. Most of the time, your team leader will just give you a break on the spot because he can.
Basically, yeah.
Now, there are times that won't happen. He's unlikely to give you a break in the last 5 minutes of a round, or when we're just about to hand out all the sealed product. There's these points where there's never enough judges.
Yeah, you need all the resources that you can. Yeah.
And at other times, there's just too many judges. So, yeah.
Not too many, but you can afford to have one less.
You could afford to have one less, yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So that is relaxing, which is then followed by the somewhat similar resting.
Okay.
I'm not so sure on the title of this one, but we do have some different topics to cover.
Okay, go for it.
I was just wondering if we've got enough content left and we're getting towards the end. Do we want to do resting and then wrap up for the night and schedule another? Does that sound good?
I'm fine with that.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so resting. Firstly, I've got don't try and be a hero.
Aha. What do you mean by that?
You aren't trying to do everything alone. You're at a GP. There's a staff of 30 plus. I think 30 is the minimum for a GP these days.
Mm-hmm. So you're not alone. Yeah.
You're not alone. You will get burned out if you try to do everything yourself.
Okay. But there is this tournament that I can help, and this question from a player that I can take, and I can pull some chair, and I can clean some table, and like it will be so much better, right?
There's 29 plus other people who were asked to come along because they're all so good. Trust your colleagues. So part of that there is when it's the end of the day, the end of your shift, and you're told to go. You've done your work.
But I was the head judge of this tournament. I was responsible for it, right?
You were, and now you're not. So,
all right.
The important next bit is get some sleep. It is so much fun hanging out with judges. That's why I judge. The running a tournament bit, well, yeah, that's nice. I like it. But I judge to hang out with judges. But you need to sleep. You're not going to get to hang out with judges.
You just sleep Friday night and Saturday night.
Yeah. Sunday night.
Yeah.
All bets are off.
I think it's a good idea also to if you can afford it, because you are actually compensated by the TO to take care of yourself, to rest in a fine hotel with like fine beds and a quiet hotel to like have some correct sleep. If you're taking like a room like 1 hour from the venue to a friend's place because it's free, you're going to take 1 hour to go, 1 hour to rest, 1 hour to come back, and it's not going to be relaxing for you.
Yeah. This may come as a shock to Joso when he's scheduling the next GP Melbourne, but I'm going to be looking at the compensation for the GP with in mind that I need a hotel for the night.
Because you are far from the venue already?
50 odd minutes by train from the venue.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
The one before last, I was only 20, 30 minutes by train from the venue.
Yep.
And that was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I was just that much further. That 40 minutes of less sleep on Saturday night was too much. I could only get 6.5 hours after finishing my shift, going to the judge dinner, getting food, the second food finished, catching the next train home. 6.5 hours of sleep was the best I could do.
Wow. Yeah, that's not a lot for judging the day after.
Spending money on a hotel for the 2 or 3 nights for the GP would have been worth it.
Well, especially because think about it, the TO is paying you to judge.
Yeah.
He's reimbursing you, he's compensating you So he's giving you this money or boxes or whatever to help you to travel to this event, to take a hotel, and to have some food.
Yeah.
That's usually what is covered for all of it. So
it's just that the compensation is much less for judges from the town that the GP is in.
Yes, I see what you mean.
So I'm going to be evaluating that a little bit more like I'm a traveling judge, because I'm going to be buying a hotel. So
so do you want to apply still or not?
Yeah.
Basically.
And
okay.
If the equation doesn't work out, I will talk to the TO, because he may change his mind on things.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to, but you can always ask things of a TO, but
to take care of yourself.
Ask knowing the answer may be no.
Yeah, well, you know that like if you're doing that, the event will be better.
Yeah.
Because you will be in better condition. So can you afford that or not? That's basically the question you ask, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the next bit on resting is note that Sunday night you don't need to get up to judge the event the next day.
Yep.
But you might need to work the next day. I recommend not.
At least taking the morning off is usually a fine idea. Just to rest correctly.
So I can't remember if I ended up taking off Monday for this GP Melbourne, but I was intending to. And I definitely did for the one before. Yes, I'm sleeping in my own bed that night, but I don't intend to get there until pretty late.
Yeah. And usually you want at least to do like some dinner with judges.
Yeah.
To spend some time with them.
Yeah, if I'm not going out to at least 2 dinners with judges at a GP, I'm
Something
unhappy.
is wrong, right?
Maybe replacing one with a breakfast if, I'm working very late shifts or something could be okay. But yeah.
That's a very late shift.
I mean, breakfast before the shift.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So that's us done. I think
it's a good point to say that we have done all the part about looking after yourself. And I think the rest of we're going to stop now.
Yep. We're going to stop
it's like
now.
around an hour.
Yep.
And we can do that next week?
Let me just glance at my calendar.
Mm-hmm. The 30th of June?
Yep, 30th of June.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
And we will talk about, look after others. So still some tips about judging a GP.
Yeah.
So looking after others and some general tips. And we want to talk about the different roles of different teams.
Yeah. I think we might actually open with the roles of the different teams next session. It's a good place to start a session, I think.
Yep.
So, Judge Blab 9B will be next week on the roles at a GP and some more tips.
Awesome.
See you all back next week.
See you next week.